Trading Nut, episode 182.
Because no matter who you are, what strategy you have, from all the interviews I've heard, you're going to lose money at the beginning, and then you're going to lose a little bit less, and then you're going to go to break even, and then you're going to make a little bit until you finally make a lot. I haven't heard not one person out of hundreds of interviews say anything different than that journey.
The market's going to do something. Your job is not to fight it.
The market never, ever runs away. It's always there.
That personal diary of trading will make you a much better trader than...
I could be right about the direction, but wrong about the trade.
Don't focus on the monetary side.
Trying to make too much money on a trade is what I have seen killed every trader.
Your losses offer you some of the greatest insight you can find into your mistakes.
Relax, learn the process.
Candlestick pattern trading is a freaking trap.
Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire.
Let the market tell you what the market wants to tell you.
This podcast is not financial, trading, or investing advice of any kind. What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the Trading Nut podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got Steve Young on the show. Now, Steve's a trader from Minneapolis, and he's not just any old trader. He won the first ever Trading Nut funded cup, beating out over 3,000 other traders and making 94% in 45 days. So you're probably not gonna, it's probably not gonna be what you expect this interview is. You're probably thinking that Steve's been trading for like 20 years and, you know, this guy is the top of the game, but it's going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you in a number of ways. So stay tuned. That's coming up. We also shot a video after the show where Steve breaks down what he did during the cup to get this 94% return, or some of what he does in his trading. So this isn't all of it. This is only some of it. He's got a couple of approaches that he uses. So guys, it's ingenious nevertheless, and a must-watch video to really get a grasp of how you could potentially approach the markets yourselves. Right, other things, talking about the Trading Nut Funded Cup, my sponsors, City Traders Imperium, are helping me run this again. They've got another $100,000 funding challenge up for grabs, and bear in mind, all of their funding challenges have been overhauled, so they're amazing, up to 100% profit share on one of them as well. So guys, you want to go and check that out after this show, and there'll be an ad coming up soon. And yeah, it starts middle of July. So if you want to take part in the Trading Nut Funded Cup for July, middle of July is when you want to register by, and it starts shortly after, runs for the same duration as well. I'll put a link below the video and a link in the card above, so make sure you go and click those after this or while you're watching. Now, last thing before we get into the show, the Algo Funder Mastermind build is almost complete. 10th of July is when it's going to land. If you're listening to this before then, 10th of July 2022, you've got a chance to get this actual bot, the source code to it in the Robot Builders Club, but you'll need to join before the 10th of July, at which point the price, you can still get it, but the price is going to go up for the remainder of July quite dramatically. So if you do want to get it, now's the time to jump on board, and you're going to get the source code to what we built and created. It's a smart money concept order block strategy. It's got manual, semi-automated trading, as well as a fully automated strategy, 90 odd settings in there. All right, folks, enough from me. Let's hear from my sponsor, City Traders Imperium, and then get on with the show. As you'll know, as a trader, one of the biggest issues can be coming up with enough capital to make it worthwhile. Well, the good news is my sponsor, City Traders Imperium, have solved this problem for you. Their day trading and swing trading funding programs mean you can trade between $10,000 and $4 million in capital with up to 100% profit share. Yes, you get everything you make on the account. Plus, the folks at CTI have made it super stress-free, allowing you up to 6 months to pass the funding challenge, which means if life gets in the way, you can park things for a while and stick to your trading plan. To check them out, click the link in the description below or in the card above. All right, folks, here we are on Trading Nut. We've got Steve Young in the house. Now, if you remember this name, it is because you are part of the Trading Nut Funded Cup. Steve is the winner of the Trading Nut Funded Cup, the June competition, and he took it out with an amazing, 92% gain on the account? Was it 92%? There or there?
Yeah, almost 100. Well, about 94, 92, 94.
92, 94.
I finished with 97,000 balance.
97,000 balance. Okay, so that'll be 97% gain on the account, essentially, because it was a 50K account that you started off with, eh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be like 94, 95.
Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Today you guys are going to get to meet Steve. You're going to get to find out how he got into trading, how he's now actually trading full time, how he found the Trading Nut Funded Cup, and took out top spot, and how he probably will go into a bit of detail around how you actually manage yourself during the cup as well. So, to start off, Steve, do you want to just introduce yourself? Let the guys know how you got into trading and where you're based and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. My name's Steve Young. I'm from Chicago, South Side Chicago originally, South Side and South suburbs. Right now I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 35, just turned 36 actually. Oh, that's another thing. The competition ended like 2 days before my birthday because my birthday's on June 6th. So it was a nice little birthday present from up above, from God, is what I think about it. It was like right on time. And that's so many things were lining up with this competition that I was like, man, this was meant to be. But yeah, I'm 36 now. Started trading about 2 years ago. Let's see. Oh, I swear, this is how I know it was meant to be. Okay, so right when the pandemic started, I got fired. I was working at a warehouse job. I was loading pallets for a food company. And I was doing that for a few months. And, I went to college. And so I have a degree in business and all that, but just my life played out. So I ended up working at a warehouse job in a factory. Doing that for a few months, it was backbreaking. I was horrible at it. Like, I thought I was in good physical shape, but you work at a factory, you might find out something different. That's what I found out. So I was horrible at it. And so I got fired. I knew I was going to get fired for a while. And the day they finally did it, the pandemic and lockdowns were announced like 2 days later. So I ended up getting unemployment, the crazy unemployment they were giving people, all the extra on top of the regular unemployment. 2 days. And the thing is, if I had not gotten fired 2 days before the pandemic, they probably wouldn't have fired me, which means I probably wouldn't have started trading when I did. Because it's a place that you have mandatory overtime and they supply grocery stores with food. So no matter what, the job has to get done, and it runs 24 hours. The job has to get done because, grocery stores can't go without food. So by the time the pandemic happened, it was shortages in employees everywhere. And on top of that, it was just busy for everybody because of the supply chains, and they're part of the supply chain, like literally. So if I hadn't got fired 2 days before the pandemic, I don't think I would have got fired. And I don't see how I would have started trading at that time because I would be working like 12 hours a day.
And can I ask,
get fired.
Can I ask, going back into your story,
go ahead, cut me off whenever, because I ramble, man.
How did you go from
I'm long-winded, so cut me off.
How did you go from getting a degree to ending up working in a factory stacking pallets? How on earth did that happen? Let's just get a bit of background here.
Cause I was one of them type of kids who just coasted through school. I didn't take it too seriously. If it wasn't something having to do with like making money in that moment, I wasn't really taking it too seriously. And I wasn't big into learning then like I am now. Like, that's a common story. People go to school, they don't read any of that. And like 10 years later, once they're out of school, they find this like quest for knowledge and information and learning. That's what happened to me. In school, I could care less about a book. And so I just coasted through. I just did the test. I was able to coast by with just doing the test and C's, get degrees. And so basically when I graduated, they were only hiring, if anybody, the cream of the crop, because I graduated in 2008, 2009, during the great financial crisis. So it went from a booming economy to even people at the top were getting laid off. So I'm sure they were hiring people out of college, just they had plenty more better choices to pick than me. And so I was far down the line, so I didn't get any type of position.
And what did you study in college?
Business management.
Business management. Okay, so where did you go from there? What job did you get from there?
From there, my first job, I think, was at like a call center for a cable company, a cable TV network, like company here.
Okay, and so then you went from there.
I'm guessing problems.
I'm guessing you had a few jobs, right, to get to the factory job.
I had like 20 jobs.
20 jobs. Okay, 20 jobs. And what ultimately
What
ultimately got you fired from the factory job?
Man, okay, so I was working for a food delivery company called DoorDash here and doing Uber and stuff like that, just gig economy jobs. And then my fiance at the time got pregnant. She was pregnant. Okay. So I'm still, and I've been working on like this entrepreneur journey for like 8 years or something, or like 5 years or something. First trying to do like Shopify and Amazon and, all that whole journey, all the make money online businesses. And I was still doing that when my fiance, she's now my wife, when she got pregnant with our first son, who's 2.5 now. I was still driving and doing gig economy work, but that wasn't cutting it because I needed money to try to spend on businesses as well as, take care of the family. And the driving, doing gig economy jobs wasn't working it. So I saw this factory, they were hiring and they were paying like $22 an hour or something. So that was a lot. That was more than I was making, and it was steady. So I took that job, and it was like 2 blocks away from our house. So that's what led me there. It was just convenient, and it paid enough to get by for the moment while I was really working on my passion and what I really focused on, which is my own businesses.
Right.
So it was just a means to an end.
Okay. And so the end was you got fired because you were not very good at it, or because you just had no interest in it and you wanted to get on with something else?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I would like to say it's because I had no interest in it, but it's really because I was just like really bad at it. Like I was out of shape. It was what you do is you lift like 50-pound boxes all day for like 8 to 12 hours or however long they need you. And I smoke cigarettes and everything. So I'm in there. You like move and you on a go for 12 hours straight. Like it was just a backbreaking. It was a tough job. I got a lot of respect for those people who do that job for years. Oh yeah,
mate. I've been there. I've done furniture removal, and I'll tell you what, I was absolutely destroyed by the end of the day. Even like not even the end of the day. I remember like we had to move a police station from one place to another, and my hands were the muscles were gone on my hands that I couldn't even literally lift anything. I couldn't even hold my sandwich at lunchtime. It wasn't for me. But that was when I was like 19, so it was like a long time ago. Anyway, what I want to find out is, you got fired. Why on earth did you decide at that point, COVID pandemic, got fired, I'm now going to start my trading journey? Why not the Amazon, FBA, and all the other things, Shopify, and all those other things? Yeah. Why did you go trading is the one now?
Yeah. Well, Shopify and Amazon, it just wasn't working. It was just bleeding money. And because you had to spend money on advertisements or products or whatever, you have to spend money, and it just wasn't working yet. Like, I believe it would have eventually, but it wasn't working. And then it was like March 8th, the day I got fired, and the market had already started crashing. And so I look out for signs and guidance from God because, I believe in Jesus, so I believe it's a higher power always watching over us, always guiding us. So I look, and I think he speaks to us in different ways. I'm sure everybody has got the moments. They're like, that is not a coincidence. That is too crazy. The odds of that happening are so low. I don't think that's a coincidence. I feel like you feel connected to something. Somebody's guiding you. So all these videos started popping up, and I was like, I started trading for the first time. I started trading stocks like 6 or 7 years before that. Okay, with Tim Sykes. You heard of Tim Sykes?
He's been on my show years ago. He's been on the
52, that's
52
right.
Traders podcast he was on. He was one of the earlier guests. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I saw you interviewed him. That's right. So he was doing his whole like courses on short and pump and dumps. And so I was like, that makes sense. It's like these garbage companies, people pump it up and you just short it on the way down. I was like, that seems easy enough. But by the time I signed up with them, that whole industry had pretty much been done away with because the SEC cracked down on it. And so there weren't any more really pump and dumps to find that people pumped up and then you could short them easy. And so I was doing some of his other strategies, which would be like find a good small cap company, with some news or something and basically make a news trade or something like that. But that was like 2015 or something. And now looking back, now that I know macro a little bit better, that was in the middle of a sideways, choppy, like basically bad market. It wasn't a bull market. It was like either a bear or a sideways market at that time. So the breakout strategy that he taught was always failing. Because breakouts was a steady failing. Probably like how it is right now.
Yeah.
So
you got your 2-year-old
that didn't work out about
there,
6, 7. Yeah, yeah, this is Mateo. Mateo, say hi.
Daddy.
Hi.
Hi.
Good job.
Daddy.
Yeah. You can go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so
but yeah, all right.
Okay, so you've traded stocks for a bit. So you traded stocks for a bit, and then you get that didn't work. So you've already had some trading. I suppose insight. You knew what it was all about.
Yeah.
What got you into? Did you go straight back into stocks, or did you go into forex to start off with?
I went into Forex because I found out it was 24-hour market. And with the infant at the time, he was a baby. I was like, I need flexibility because I might not be able to do the 8:30 to 3 o'clock for the stock market. So I went straight into Forex. And
Daddy, wow.
loud, yeah, it's loud. Hey, mama, I went straight into Forex, and I lost a lot of money right away. But the thing is, I went into Forex like not knowing what I was doing, so I was like learning all the time, and I was like devouring videos. And that's about the time when I first found your channel. I was just like listening to every video, and I found Wix Don't Lie. I want to shout out them because they really helped me in the beginning. Their YouTube channel and their live streams, just listening to their live streams every morning and like trying to see how they think about the markets. And like, honestly, the biggest thing that somebody new can do, and I'm still pretty new myself. So, I mean, like the biggest thing we can do is listen to other people's stories in the beginning, because no matter who you are, what strategy you have, from all the interviews I've heard, you're going to lose money at the beginning, and then you're going to lose a little bit less, and then you're going to go to break even, and then you're going to make a little bit until you finally make a lot. I haven't heard not one person out of hundreds of interviews say anything different than that journey. And so that's the biggest thing that I got from looking at all your interviews and live streams and everything in the beginning. And so, yeah, I lost a lot of money in the beginning, but I was prepared for it.
That's a good benchmark. I like that to work out where you are on the journey. So are you at that losing a lot, losing a little, break even, or making a little? And you'll definitely know if you're making a lot. So you don't probably need to know if you're there. You'll know if you're there. So
right.
So okay. Right. So you lost a lot at the start. I mean, how did that go? You moved on to Wix Don't Lie, Raja. I mean, how did that transition? I mean, were you just copying what he was doing on the live streams, or just learning?
I was just learning how he sees the markets, but at the same time researching like every strategy I could find out there until I found something that works for my personality. So I wasn't copying them. And even as I saw him win like 80% of his trades, I still couldn't bring myself to copy him, even though like statistically speaking, I would do all right if I did. I just couldn't, because that's not sustainable. That's not like I got to learn to trade for myself.
Yeah.
So, but I still remember some of the first things I learned from him. But yeah, I just took bits and pieces of a whole bunch of different strategies, and I put them together to what I do now. Yeah. One person is Al Brooks. Al Brooks,
yes,
he's an older gentleman.
Yeah. He's been on the show.
Okay. Yeah. I found some. Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't think I saw that interview, but I should check it out, because he's very technical. Like, he's all technical. Like, he breaks it down. The big thing about him is, like, I move fast. I think fast. I'm impatient. Al trades off the 2-minute charts and 3-minute charts, and as opposed to Raja and Uncle Ted, they were trading off the 30 minutes. So I'm watching live streams. I'm sitting there watching this 1 30-minute candle go up and down and waiting for it to close. I'm like, what? I am bored. Like, so I dropped it down to the 1-minute time frame, and I'm just studying the 1 minute. I'm like, it may be statistically better to do 30-minute or hour or whatever daily and above, but my personality is not going to work. So it's either I don't trade or I figure out how to trade the 1-minute charts.
That's
interesting. So Al Brooks was a big part in that.
Anyone else? I'm going to mention Al in a second, but anyone else?
Raja, Uncle Ted, Al Brooks. Man. I mean, and then like Daniel Savage and Lambo Raul and them talking about the Fibonacci. So I do a little bit of Fibonacci's, but only on the daily time frame or higher.
Folks, if you missed out on joining the Trading Nut Funded Cup, don't worry. With over 3,000 traders registered, my sponsors, City Traders Imperium, have decided to run another. But this time, they've promised the prizes will be even bigger and better. Folks, if you want to register for this and show your skills as a trader, click on the link above or the link below the video or in the podcast description, then sign up for free before 15th of June 2022 and get 10% off any City Traders Imperium product just for entering the competition. Good luck, folks, and we'll see you in the cup. Yeah, it's interesting you say Al Brooks, because he came on the show years ago. and I should probably get him back on. And I think at the time, for whatever reason, he got a lot of flack, and I couldn't understand it because he seemed to be like doing, the right things and all that sort of stuff. The reality was the guy that I learnt from, who nobody knows, he absolutely rates Al Brooks, and this guy's got masterclass knowledge. So, guys, Al Brooks is a good person to learn from, and I think, hearing Steve here mention him as one of the key people to turn his trading around, it sort of adds up, right? So, yeah, go on. You moved down from like 30 minutes. You thought, okay, well, I want to go down to the 1 minute. What happened on the 1 minute chart?
Man, the 1 minute chart, I got beat up on the 1 minute chart. I got beat up a lot.
What pair? What pairs were you trading?
I tried them all. But I really like US 30 and NAS 100 the best. Like, even from the beginning, and still to this day, those are my favorite. But at the same time, the thing is, like, a lot of people look at NAS 100 and US 30 and say it's so risky, but you can make so much. And those are the ones that are known to a lot of people, maybe not everybody, but those are the ones that are known that you can really level up your profits and make a lot of money because they move so much. Maybe not everybody thinks about that, but that's how I used to hear about it and think about it. And until just recently, because I'll tell you about my strategy in a bit, and that's why, but the markets are only going to move so much within a given period of time, like a day, 2 days, 3 days, or a week. So if you're thinking about swinging a trade for like 5 days or something, especially with the currencies, when you break down the time frame, you can get a much bigger risk to reward, higher reward to risk ratio with currencies if you do it right. If you drop down the time frame, if you get in at a certain time, and if you're going off the daily for your bigger picture trade. So basically, I drop down, I look at the daily, and I have moving averages and support resistance and trend lines. So I'm looking for areas of importance, whether it's going to be support or resistance. And then once it reaches that area, and better if I have a confluence of indicators or signals or levels, I drop down to the one time frame once we reach that area. And what I noticed, even from the beginning when I was losing a lot of money, is you have to have the bigger picture to know what you're looking for. But once you have that and you know what you're looking for, I can't understand why people ever rag on a 1 minute chart. I'm glad because, I don't know. I guess if everyone doing it, maybe it wouldn't work how it works, but I can't understand it. You see what's happening on the 1 minute a lot easier than you see what's happening on a 30-minute candle. It just looks like a big candle. But if you drop down to 1 minute, there's 100 different variations of how that 30-minute candle formed on the 1 minute. And if you see it enough, granted, you have to do this a lot because I lost a lot of money before having the pattern recognition add up over time. But if you do it enough, there are a lot of variations, but at the same time, there's only so many.
Yeah.
So if you've seen this one variation of how the 1 minute is forming and you're at an area of importance, you can see that might be turning around, and not just for like a scalp, like in on the 1 minute, out 3 minutes later. No, I'm talking about getting in with a 1 minute stop. So maybe like a 3 to 5 pip stop, but your target is on the daily. So maybe a 300 to 500 pip target.
That's why your chart looked like, flat line, and then these massive spikes, flat line, massive spike. That makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That last trade that put me over the top, I call it a last trade, but it's really like probably 30 open positions. That played out over about a week, give or take.
And so okay, like we'll get into your trading in a second. So I just want to sort of finally work out when you transition. So because 2 years isn't a long time to be going from starting to actually, winning a competition of which there were over 3,000 people entered and trading full time. So how on earth did that transition happen between learning from Raja, Al Brooks, and whoever else to seeing that break even turn to profit and turn to big profit?
A lot of pain, a lot of learning lessons, a lot of just still keep showing up. A lot of pain, really.
Talk us through one of those days where talk us through one of those days where there was like, it was a sort of immense pain, and then another day where it was like, I think I got it. Or was there a day when you thought you had it and then you didn't have it, like later on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll take you back to 2020, probably about June. The indices, the U.S. stock market had been, recovering, so it had gone up a lot already. And at this time, I didn't know anything about macro. I didn't know we were in the middle of a strong bull market. I just knew that it dropped and then it went up a lot. So maybe it's going to drop again. So I was like a perma bear during one of the strongest bull runs in history. But at the same time, even being a perma bear, I was always trying to catch the reversal, even from when I first started. And I still do that today, but now just with more experience, I can actually catch it more. But in the beginning, it was a day that the stock market had dropped like 1,000 points. The Dow dropped about 1,000 points. And before, it had been choppy. It was small moves. It was going up what they call a wall of worry. Markets go up on a wall of worry and they go down on the slope of hope. So it was going up the wall of just teeter-tottering up the wall of worry, right? And then one day it just cracked, it just smacked down. And during that day where it got smacked down, it dropped 1,000 points. I'm still trying to trade it like it was the market before, and I'm trying to catch the reversal on a buy. I'm trying to catch a buy reversal the whole 1,000 point way down. I must have took 30, 40 trades, lost them all. And then I look back at the charts. Yeah, I look back at the charts, and I saw, and I still do that today, by the way. I don't want to act like I'm bigger than that. I still take 30, 40 losses in a row in a day. I just did. But I'll tell you how that works out in a second. So I have put the EMAs on my chart, exponential moving averages on my chart. And I look back at the day. I didn't notice it during the day, but the 1 minute chart never passed, the price never passed the 20 EMA, the freaking 20. It's not like it didn't pass the 200 or something. It didn't pass the 20. So there's no way I should have been buying that. And I'm buying it the whole way down.
Yeah.
And that hit me like a brick. I remember the picture. I took a screenshot of the chart. I was like, if I would have had the simplest strategy of just don't even try a buy unless it crosses the 20 EMA on the 1 minute, which is not a lot, you're not asking for a lot, crossing the 20 EMA on the 1 minute, that's very bearish if it doesn't do that at all.
Yeah, it is. So that was the low. Yeah, but you still do that now. You still say you can even have a 20, 30 losing trade day or series of days.
Yeah, I'll show you. Let me pull up my. I just had it today, actually.
Okay, you go on. Show us. So, you guys, if you're listening to the podcast, we'll just try and explain this. If you're watching the video,
can you still hear me? See me? I just
you can still see it. Yeah.
All right. So
have you got
today was a hard.
Don't worry, you're not sharing the screen, so that's all good.
No, I wasn't gonna share the screen.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go on. You're just gonna tell us.
MetaTrader account.
Yeah.
I just want to see the number, but okay, it doesn't have to be exact. All right, today was a rough day for me because the thing about my strategy is once the daily chart or weekly gets to that area of strong importance on the higher time frames, I attack it on the 1 minute. And I keep attacking it, and I keep attacking it, and I keep attacking it. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong a lot. And if I'm right, I'm going to be right. But, I'm going to be right for a lot, but it's going to take a little while to play out. And that's what happened with that last trade when I went from 70,000 to 97,000 within like a couple of days, or my balance did. They would have saw that. But that's because I spent a lot of time tracking, hunting that trade, and attacking it when it finally showed up. So it looks like my balance just went up all of a sudden. But that trade was 2 weeks or more like in the making as far as waiting for it and attacking it once the daily was on the setup. But the thing is, sometimes I'm wrong about what it's going to do on the daily, right? But I'm still attacking it on the 1 minute. So it takes a lot for me to know I'm finally wrong. So today I'm setting up. I'm looking for a long on the indices because they sold off like over 10, 12% in the last few days. They're overextended, oversold on every indicator you could think of. There's bullish divergence on the RSI, on the breadth indicators, such as like percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average or percentage of stocks above the 200-day moving average. Everything you're showing bullish divergence. You're showing support. You're showing NASDAQ, the weekly chart is on the 200 EMA moving average. There's so much support and confluence right now. And I could go on. There's so much. So I'm attacking it. I'm attacking it.
And so when you say you're attacking it, are you if you're getting stopped out of these trades? I mean, where's your stop on a 1 minute candle or 1 minute chart?
For the indices, my stop will be like 10 to 30 points, something like that.
So it's fairly wide compared to the size.
So my stop
compared to the size of a candle, how wide would that be?
Like one candle. I put it below like either the previous candle or the previous 2 or 3 1 minute candles, something like that. So I'm only working with about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I try to get the direction, and then I place a stop. Or I might wait for like a higher high and then put the stop under that first higher high. But still, you're talking about the size of like 1, maybe 2 candles at most. 1 or 2 1 minute candles is my stop.
Okay. And so that means like your entry is a market order, or is it a stop order or a limit order?
Market
order.
Market,
so you're entering at what, the close of a candle, or are you waiting for it to close and then enter, or are you just entering when you see that, damn, this thing's breaking out, I'm going to go?
It depends. I mean, like, well, it's just the 1 minute, so candles are closing all the time. So, I mean, some candles are closed, but like my entry, I don't like say, oh, I'm going to wait for this candle to close and then I'm going to enter all the time. I might. But I think I really look for, I do wait, because I look for something I call momentum candles. I think there's actually a real term for it, like Mary Bachu or Mary Bo something. It's when you have a large candle body.
Yeah.
You have no lower wick and you have no upper wick. So it's all momentum in that one direction.
Okay, yeah,
so it's a candle with no wicks.
Yeah, yep.
And then I look for another candle to open in that same way, a candle with no wicks. Hopefully, preferably big bodies as well, but at least have no wicks. So the momentum is all going in that one direction.
Right.
And that's a big signal I look for on the 1 minute to start, to get in, and, to get the reversal.
So, okay, let's skip back a little bit to the time when you sort of thought, damn, I've actually think I've got this thing working, and then when it all fell apart again. Because I'm only guessing that it did. I'm only guessing that it did, where you like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It kept falling apart, and it'll still fall apart on any given day. It's just that now I'm more confident about the long run, the numbers playing out over time. But let's see.
I suppose at what? Yeah, okay. Go. Yeah, think of an example, and then I sort of want to know at what point do you go, I don't think this is going to play out. I've lost 30 trades. I've got to stop.
Shit, I mean, excuse my French, but a lot of times when the market closes, because I trade the indices mostly, so when the market closes and I can't trade anymore, that's a lot of times what I have to wait for. Not all the time. Sometimes I just close my computer and say, all right, you got me this time, market. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. I'll just close my computer and walk away. I don't know. It just differs all the time when I get to that point.
Okay. So, but the next day you will obviously have a new daily candle, and you can go, right, well, what is this telling me on the prior day? I can then possibly have a different bias. Okay. Right. Cool. Now, so
Oh, I gotta clarify. I only do that. See, I trade every day, but I only look for the swing trades with the 1 minute entries. I only do that when there is one available, and there's not always one available. So other times when we're in no man's land, we're in between areas, I'm just in it. I'm in and I'm out once. Oh, I didn't say that before. I'm in and I'm going with the 1 minute trend, which is usually the same as like the 30-minute trend or 5 minute trend, usually the same as like slightly higher time frame trends. I draw a trend line. I'm getting in, and as long as it stays within that trend line, I'm going with that trend, and I'm getting out when it breaks that trend, that 1 minute trend line.
Right. Gotcha.
That's what I do when we're in between areas.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's perfect. And so out of the two kind of combination of those, both those strategies, what one ends up paying or growing your account most?
Oof. The swing trades with the 1 minute entries, because it's such a large influx of cash of profit at one time that it gives you so much more breathing room to take more trades. So that's how it was with the tournament, because you only have 5% max drawdown. So if you're going little by little, $1,000 a day, $1,500 a day, it's good. It'll add up over time. But if you get that $10,000 or $15,000 at one time, you have a little bit of breathing room. You're like, oh, okay, now I can really hit it because I've got more drawdown available. So now I can be a little bit more risky. I can add to positions when I think I'm right. So that really influx of adding to the balance at one time, I think grows the account more.
Okay, cool. So, at what point did you, I suppose, really go, I've cracked this thing. I've cracked it.
Just recently when I found out about, okay, so you can have which is something you're looking for in the daily or weekly to set up, but it's hard to know when to get on 1 minute unless you have something specific you can look back on many, many times when it was the time to get in and say, what do these things have in common? And so that's what I did. Like, I'm obsessed with the charts. I'm always looking at the charts. My wife doesn't like it too much, but I try to put it down at some point. But I would just go over the charts. Like, when was the time to get in on this daily reversal? What did it show in the 1 minute? Then I'll go back. Okay, on this weekly point of interest where it reversed and then started a whole new trend. What did it look like on the 1 minute? And I'll go back and I'll look and I say, when this breakout happened, what does the 1 minute say? And I found what I just talked to you about before. It's the momentum candles is what I call them. It's the mirror. I don't know the real name for them, but the no wick candles that are the bigger, the better with no wick. Those are that's momentum going all in one direction.
Okay. And so, I mean, you've been at home for 2 years, maybe a little bit more with, you lost your job, you're at home for a couple of years. So how did you go? And you won the Trading Up Funded Cup. So you got a City Traders Imperium, $100,000 funded account. What were you doing before that to obviously put food on the table for your family and stuff?
I was driving for DoorDash and Uber. It's food delivery and you know what Uber is. But
yeah. So okay. So you weren't necessarily you were trading, but you weren't earning enough money from the trading to use it as an income or to support your family and stuff. You still had to supplement that up until how at some point have you sort of gone, oh, this is my account, I'm now growing it consistently and this is what I'm taking withdrawals from it?
I just barely and only recently reached that level. Just barely be able to do that. Really not fully able to do that, quite honestly. But yeah, I have been only trading and not driving or anything for only a couple weeks now. Okay.
So it is very fresh in terms of you becoming, this thing working for you. You obviously took out the Trading Up Funded Cup. You got the $100,000 funded account. I mean, have you started trading on that? And are you able to grow that account now that you're out of the cup?
I have started trading, and just let me say real quick, I know people say this all the time, but it's very difficult to grow a small account and to make money from trading when you're trying to use that money to pay bills. Because you could be good at trading, have a good strategy, but everybody knows how psychological trading is. And so I would not close trades that I should because I wanted a little bit more because I had to pay this bill. I have to pay rent. That just happened to me. I deposited $240 into an account from driving. Within a week, the equity was up to $2,200. And I didn't close the trade because I wanted to get more out of it because I had to pay rent. So it's very hard. And then it reversed all the way on me, stopped me out. I lost all the $2,200 plus the $240 I deposited. And then not only that, it goes in the damn direction I was going in, and it goes there for a whole lot. So the hard part is trying to pay bills and think about the trading at the same time with the same money. It's very difficult.
Daddy.
Yeah, buddy. Sorry, everybody watching. This is my son. We don't have anywhere else to put him right now. Just stay focused. I'm focused. I can hear you. I'm listening. I think we got this thing going.
Daddy, wow.
Cool. What I was going to ask was...
this is how I trade too, everybody. This is how I trade. So another thing, my wife asked...
Daddy, wow. Daddy?
My wife was like, we should take him somewhere. We should put him somewhere. I was like, we could.
Daddy, wow.
But at the same time, there might be other people out there with kids. I'm not the only person that has kids probably trying to trade. and probably might not be the only person who has those kids at their house all day.
Yeah.
And I miss trades all the time. Mama.
Okay, guys.
I'm not gonna say I don't get frustrated. I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there might be other people out there with kids or they're trying to start a business. This is important because a lot of people use their family as an excuse to play it safe and not go for it. Like, I would, but I got to take care of my family. I would, but my family's at home. I can't focus. And I've heard people say this exact thing to me, and they use it as a reason to just not stay there and to like abandon their family. I'm like, what? No, look, it's possible. If you have kids, even young kids, I'm taking care of them all day, changing poopy diapers. I'm going outside to take them outside. And, God blesses a faithful heart. So don't abandon your family. Don't put success over your family. Put your family first. And I'm trading with him on my lap. Like I said, I'm in and out. I'm missing trades, but everything ended up working out because God blesses a faithful heart. So stay with your family and just make it happen. No excuses.
Awesome. Yeah, look, it is. I mean, look, I did a lot of this stuff when I had young kids as well, and it does make it hard, but it is possible. And if you really want it, you can obviously make it work. Now, I want to find out, because it's interesting you say about the 2200, getting up to 2200 and then losing it all. Is that part of the challenge for you, is trying to work out when do I exit the trade? Or do you have a set point at which you want to exit these big mammoth swing trades? Or even the small, shorter term time frame trades.
You hit the nail right on the head. Without having a systematic approach, especially the way I trade, the biggest challenge is not getting in the trade and being in profit on the trade. The biggest challenge I have is knowing when to exit, knowing when to take profit. Yeah. You're right. I still don't have an exact answer for you. What I try to do is try to go by the price action of each day. Since I'm sitting there looking at the 1 minute chart all day, I get a very good feel of the price action on the day. So you might see, or somebody who trades the daily only and doesn't look at the 1 minute might see, like for instance, on the indices, you see a big red candle today. Like, I don't know how much information people get out of after just looking at that or the 30 minute or the hour. Today, I sat here and trade and watched every 1 minute candle. So I can see that price doesn't want to sell. If there's sellers, the buyers are scooping it all up. Every time you get even a 1 minute flush, you get stopped right away. And that was happening all day. And every now and then you get a boost of bullish volume every now and then. So I'm like, wait a second, this thing doesn't want to sell. Not only that, the strongest momentum of the day on like a 1 minute, in a 1 minute picture is bullish. Every time it goes down, it like shoots back up for like 2 minutes. And like these candles are strong. So right now, I'm in a long on NAS 100 and US 30 because price today, I could be wrong, obviously, so don't make this trade. But I'm just saying, to me, it feels like the price action has stalled to the downside, and we might see a reversal here on the indices. But do not follow my trades. I'm still learning. I'm still new. I'm just saying, I go by the price action. So if I was in a sale right now, based off the daily on the indices, I would probably have gotten out after this day is what I'm saying, because it feels like the tide is changing. Yeah. So I go by that, or if we get to like a real strong level.
Righty-ho. Okay, so it is fairly discretionary. I mean, what helped you get out of some of the trades on the Trading Nut Funded Cup then? Was it the same kind of criteria?
Yeah, I just thought the trade just ran out of steam. Just watching the 1 minutes, looking at the levels I'm at on the daily. Are we at an area that might be resistance? I was in buys, so I was like, we're at an area that might be resistance. The price action is not as bullish as it was. Maybe it's like going sideways or something. So it's like, if it's out of steam, it's out of steam. It doesn't look as bullish as it was before, so I'll just cut it.
And what sort of mindset does it take to be able to lose 30 odd trades in a row to then hold that big winner? I mean, what did you have to go through to get there?
Oh, that's easy. I could tell you because it just happened today. I lost like 70 trades in a row today. And that's the thing about my strategy. That's why I would never recommend this. Well, you saw how many trades I had during the competition.
Yeah, a lot of trades. Yeah, was it 2,000 or something?
And that's because it may be 70 trades. Yeah, 780.
Oh,
and it may be 70 trades I lost, but it's all on. It's not like I'm taking different trades. I'm going up and I'm going down. It's all on the same trade. I'm waiting for the same trade. And
so
what's the thing? And, now I finally think I got the.
Sorry, mate. Go on. Yeah.
My bad. Maybe it's because we're so far away. We're across the.
Yeah. I think it's the slight
no,
delay.
but look. Okay, so.
So yeah, the mindset around like taking 70 losses.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you exactly what I did. Like I said, it's so fresh. It literally just happened today. I stopped. I closed the computer for a little bit. And if you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, you have a bit of an advantage. And there's people that I can point you out to in this industry that I can show you that. But I stopped and I said, like, maybe this is God's will that I go through this for some reason. It's kind of weird that this is like the worst losing day of my whole career down there. Like definitely recently, but damn near of my whole career. And it just so coincidentally happened to line up with the interview today. So that's an interesting one. Okay, so I look at that. I stopped. I put on a good sermon about, going through trials, going through tribulations, but still keeping faith that God is in control. And, so I put on a sermon. I listened to the Bible a little bit on the audio Bible on YouTube. I just relaxed. I de-stressed. I went away from the screen. Then I felt this nudge to go back. So I opened the screen again. And now I'm seeing it form up a little bit more in the same direction I want to go and the same thing I'm looking for. So I got back in. I may have lost like 2 trades before I finally got the entry I wanted. And now I'm in a long with a stop below. I'm pretty much like right at the low of the day of yesterday's candle. So you guys can all follow it and see if it works out. We'll see.
Cool. Right. Well, look. So I just want to know. The last question. I mean, I'm guessing your win rate is very low. I don't think there's no sort of qualms about that.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I would have thought that too, but it was 42% during the competition.
Too. Why was it 42% when how on earth do you lose 70 trades? I mean, not that you did that in the competition, but that means you've got to get 70 R, probably 80 R if you want to take up your commission and stuff, if not 90 R, to get to a profit again from a 70 trade losing streak. I mean, how do you what are your winning R levels or numbers? If you get a big win, how many R's there?
Well, let's take it. Well, let's just look at I was using $150 risk per trade during the competition. $150 risk on every trade. So if you do the math, I mean, that's a lot of R during the competition. If I made 47,000, I don't have a calculator right now, but that's like, what is that? I don't even know how many are. But if you do the math, so I don't really calculate it off each trade, basically, so I don't know. But like, all right, so there's the $240 account that was at a little over 2,000 equity. I was using like $10 risk on each trade on that when I made that 2,000 or whatever time it was. I was using like $10 each trade risk, and I made 2,000. So what's that, like 200 R in about a week?
Right. Okay. So you're getting 200 R. So when you say 200 R, that's a big R. But then on a 70 trade losing streak, it's, you're going to chew up that loss easily, right? You're going to chew it up easily. Even if, like you say, you add with the commission, it's 100 R that you need to make back, and you make it back in 1 week, and you've got you've doubled it. So I suppose, my question to you, and I think other guys might actually sort of find this useful, is have you ever thought about changing your approach to get out of a trade at, say, 1R and taking more profits along the way and potentially sacrificing that big, massive win? Or is it not sustainable? Do you think you'll still take too many losses to not get over that 50% mark to make it profitable?
No, you're right. Actually, you're right. And I have thought about that because there's been so many times I've been in profit. If I would have closed it when I was up, even not even 1R, like 5 to 7R all the time in profit, and I don't close it, I end up taking a loss on it. That happened today. It was plenty of times I was up, at least 5, probably actually a few times 10R. I was up on trades, but I'm going for the big one. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it will probably add up over time, and I would have been like successful early and all that. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, it sounds like what you should do with your 70 trades is go back and go, right, had I exited at, let's just say 3R of the 70, how many of those would I have come out profitable? What was the R level you would have come out profitable? Because then, you know, who knows? You could probably just go, well, maybe I've got a 2R strategy and a 2R is all I need. I'm going to win 70% of those and make money every single day. I don't know. Just a thought, something to leave you with there. Hey, look, Steve, it's been absolute. Oh, actually, no. I think I've asked all the questions. Was there anything else you wanted that I haven't asked that you wanted to sort of share with us on the show?
No, man. Just I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. You know, I just want to put that out there as followers of Jesus. We're instructed to tell the world because I think it's very important. I don't think this life is all it is. I think this is the test for the next life, the eternal life, which is a real life. So if I have to leave anybody with anything, it'd be that, because that's what's really most important. Trading is just, I mean, that's just for right now. It's just something I do to make money.
Hey folks, ever wonder what broker I use? Well, I use Hanko Trade. It was a no-brainer because I was looking for a broker with good trading conditions and one that wouldn't restrict my leverage. Now, by joining Hanko Trade, I've also cut down my trading costs significantly with their super low commission of just $1 per 100K. You can learn more at hankotrade.com or just click the link I've put in the description. Cool. And I was going to say, oh yeah, you are going to do a charting video for us. We're going to work through that. So yeah, I don't think you're used to doing it, but you're going to do a charting video. So we're going to see what you do in the background, which is going to be awesome. And I think what I might do is try and get your statement from the Trading Nut Funded Cup. I think the guys at City Traders Imperium have got it. And see if we can tie that into the video as well, so you guys can actually get to see that. So you'll have the whole story there. Now, before we wrap up, I don't even know if you really want people reaching out to you, but if you do, just let them know now how they can do that.
Yeah, they can. I don't mind. I'm SD as in David, and my last name Young. My name's Steve Young, so it's SD Young, then the number 222 on Twitter or on Instagram. And yeah, maybe I'll put out some videos eventually on YouTube. My name is Biblical Christian Steve on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind people reach out.
Brilliant. All right. Well, look, a big thank you to Steve for sharing with us today. Everything we discussed here, along with those links he just mentioned, are going to be in the show notes on tradingnut.com. To find them, simply search for Steve in the search box there on the episodes page. Until next time, I wish all my listeners trading happiness and success. Rightio, folks, there you go. Interview with Steve done and dusted now. He's just given me a quick update as to how he's getting on with the account that he's got. So he's got a $100,000 trading account from City Traders Imperium. He says that he's on track to get his first withdrawal on Thursday this week, which is going to be quite hefty from what he's saying. He hasn't given me exact figures, but it sounds like he's on track to be making some money off this funding challenge as well. So guys, if you want to take part in the Trading Nut Funded Cup, it is happening in July again. So middle of July is when you want to be registered by. If you're listening to this, go and check it out. There'll be a link on the tradingnut.com site or on City Traders Imperium's site as well. Also, do remember that we shot a video with Steve after the show here. So go and check that out where he breaks stuff down on a price chart. Goes for quite some time. He walks through his strategy in quite a lot of detail. So you're going to see how he approached this and how he did get these big gains and whether or not that kind of mindset's going to work for you, because I think it is a big mindset kind of thing with this particular approach. Bearing in mind, it's not his only approach. So he's got a couple of others that he layers in there as well. Last but not least, the Algo Funder Mastermind bot is almost up in the Robot Lab on Robot Builders Club. So if you join Robot Builders Club before the 10th of July, 2022, you'll get it at the normal price. Once it hits the lab, it's going up, and it's going up quite dramatically for the month until the bot is no longer available. You do get the source code. You'll find out how we basically built it by seeing the source code, and also you'll remember the source code's in FX Dreamer, which is drag and drop editor, so very easy to understand. And the other thing is you will get the video on how it works and the instructions for over 90 odd settings as well. So folks, that's over there on tradingnut.com, and the links are below the video for that as well. Until next time, have a great trading week.